Hey guys, happy Cinco De Mayo to all of you. It is May 5th, 2023. It's also TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And this is, of course, a vlog. And I'll tell you, since I was let go, from my job, what a week it's been. Probably one of the more unusual weeks since I was let go. And why do you ask that, maybe? And why do I say that, you might ask? Well, quite simply because on Sunday, it started out fine. Everything started out fine. My mom went to church, and one of the things she does after church... Hold on for a sec. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was my mom calling, ironically. But like I said, she normally what she does on Sundays is she goes to church. She goes to my older sisters afterwards. Maybe in between, she gets a Starbucks coffee for herself and Starbucks drinks for my sister and maybe her grandson or her son-in-law. But anyway, she went to church on Sunday, like I said, went to my older sisters. Because one of the other things she hopes to do is, get to spend time with her great granddaughter, if she happens to be there, or if my great niece's mom, comes to visit. And fortunately, my great niece was over there on Sunday because her grandma, my older sister, went to go pick her up the night before or the day before because on Sunday, my older sister's in-laws were having a birthday party for two of her sister-in-law's adoptive kids in the park. So she wanted to take her granddaughter, my great niece, to the party to have fun, run around, be in the sun, get to know, her other relatives, if you will, cousins, if you will, as well as kind of wear herself out, which, apparently it did because according to her, even though the park is not that far away from where they are, my great niece conked out, on the way back, even though it's not that long of a drive, if you will. Anyway, after that, like I said, my mom spent time over there with them, watched the Warriors game like I watched it here at home, saw them beat the Kings to advance to the Western Conference semifinals, to where they tied it last night against the Lakers in a big win. And then on Monday, my mom goes to work, as usual. After she comes home the night before from my sister's, she gets her stuff ready and everything, and then she goes to work on Monday. And then on Tuesday, because we were already projected to get rain, right? Like you can see, but out here we got some clouds and everything, a little bit of blue sky and stuff, but not as bad as Tuesday. Not as bad as Tuesday, but anyway, what happens on Tuesday is my mom's doing her normal routine. She's doing her normal routine and everything. And next thing she knows, she goes into her car. She tells me she's leaving, getting ready to go, and kind of wakes me up a little bit before I go back to sleep. And what happens is she gets into her car, and she tries to start it up, and it doesn't want to start. So she tries several more times, doesn't want to start. So she comes back into the house, wakes me up again, tells me, "Oh, my car's not working now. My car's not starting." So what does she do? She calls up her mechanic, who she's been going to since she moved here to Newman, and was also a recommendation from somebody at church. And she calls him on his home phone because he doesn't open up his business till about 8:39, or 8:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. basically. And she calls him on his home phone because he gave her that just in case something comes up. And she tells him what happened. She tells him what happened, and he says basically, "Okay, bring it in, and I will replace it for free," because he gave her a warranty on the last starter that he put into her car, because the last starter was more, I guess you could say, used, refurbished, if you will. So, he and my mom were taking a chance on it. And ever since he put that starter in, the used, refurbished one, every time my mom would start the car initially for the first time during the day, it would kind of make a noise, but then as she would be driving it and then, turning it off, going into church or going to work or going into the store or something like that, and, and being there for a bit and then coming back out, she would start it back up, later on after, coming out of church, coming out of the store, coming out of work, when she would start it back up, it wouldn't make the noise. It would just start up. So it's like, so it's like something was a little off, like something wasn't connecting right, even though the car was, was running fine until Tuesday. And then what's crazy is that after she calls him, and then she calls her job saying, hey, I got to use my vacation time because I got to take the day off because I got to take my car into my mechanic. All of a sudden, she goes back out to the car to try it one more time, and it starts back up, and it starts right up. And she's like, well, it's starting right up now, but I don't want to take a chance. And, so she decides that she's still going to take the day off and everything to, take it to the mechanic, get it fixed, get a new starter installed for free, because that was the part of the warranty and everything. And she doesn't want to take a chance on the truck, because the truck is, even though she can drive it, it's a stick shift, and she can drive a stick shift. It's a little more, I guess you could say, harder to maneuver when it comes to the freeway and driving over the Altamont and everything into Livermore, because she's got to go from here in Newman to the freeway to, which leads into the Altamont into Livermore, and basically by taking the truck, in the process, it makes things a little bit more tricky to maneuver, around at times. So she ends up taking, like I said, Tuesday off, and it's good that she did, because, throughout the week, they said we were going to get some rain. They said we're going to get rain, like I mentioned, but we didn't know how much rain we were going to get. Because sometimes they'll say, oh, you'll get about a 40% to 60% chance, and it'll be just this, it'll be just that, They won't specifically tell you how much it's going to be or what's going to be involved at times. And crazy enough, we're at home while she's waiting for her car to get fixed and everything, or contemplating whether or not she's going to have to take the truck the next day to work. When all of a sudden we hear thunder, because we see the clouds, and the clouds are a lot thicker. The clouds are a lot thicker and darker than normal. It feels like it's freaking nighttime when they pass over. And all of a sudden we hear thunder a couple of times, and then we see flashes of lightning, and then guess what happens? If you said power went out, you'd be right, because the power did go out. And what was crazy is, I'm in my room, my door's closed and everything. I'm in my room, and I'm working on some YouTube videos. I'm basically working on, like, editing the titles and everything. And my TV's on like it is now. And as soon as the power goes off, of course, the computer goes off, the TV goes off, the sound bar which is connected to the TV goes off, and we're stuck without power for almost an hour and a half. And then when it finally does come back on, of course, we got to reset some of the things that need to be reset, like certain digital clocks, timers, stuff like that. Because unlike, let's say, our cable box or our security system, or even the computers, they're not automatic. They're not automatic. So we have to reset some of them. Like I have to reset, the time on these and stuff like that. Anyway, long story short, Tuesday was an interesting day. And for me, when it comes to like getting the power restored and everything, well, here's the thing. When the computer goes off, you have to, of course, turn it back on. It's not automatically going to come back on and start where it left off. You got to basically turn the power back on and let it rebuild itself from being shut off, the hard way. Whether you're doing a hard reset, or somebody's unplugging it, if you don't have a battery connected or whatever. Or in this case, the power going out, you gotta turn your computer back on and give it about several hours, in my case, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, to really build itself back up, and everything before you could properly use it. Well, my TV was on, like I said, and when the power went out, of course it went out, it went out. And when the power came back on, the TV turned back on automatically. It turned back on automatically. But what was crazy and actually a blessing in disguise is now, once again, since I first got them, the soundbar and the TV now work in conjunction. Yeah, they do. Because what happened in the past is my soundbar, it started doing this again recently, so I don't know if maybe that was a sign that it was trying to reconnect or something. But in the past, there would be something like, some kind of like, a sound that would go, like you're hearing people, like it's like you're hearing what you want to hear out of the soundbar, right? And all of a sudden, you're hearing this, like something's interfering, like it's about to blow, or it's about to blow up, right? So I basically have to turn off the sound bar and everything, and turn it back on, for that to stop. And and what happened? I'm trying to think about what I was going to say next. I do apologize if I brain freeze there. But what happened next was after that happened like several times, more so than it should. All of a sudden, there isn't a connection anymore. I mean, the soundbar is connected to it, yes, and the TV, reads, that you have the soundbar as an option. But what's crazy though is instead of being automatic, like you only use one remote, I have to go back to using the soundbar remote because it's not connecting like, let's say, a cable box and TV would automatically connect once you get everything settled. So what happened, and again, like I said, this is kind of a blessing in disguise, when the power went back on, surprisingly, that caused the soundbar and the TV to reconnect and work in harmony, if you will. In other words, now, instead of the soundbar being its own separate speaker that you can utilize as an option outside of the TV speaker, now they work in tune. Because in other words, it actually reads the soundbar. It actually lets you know what the soundbar, what you're using as an audio option is. I mean, I'll show you if I can. Like right here, you see? See what it says? That right there, it says AV soundbar T4 or series. Yeah, that didn't, when I first got the soundbar, to go along with my TV, it initially said that, but then like I said, over time it started to make this noise where it was like there was some kind of interference coming from somewhere else, from the outside, or it sounded like it was going to blow up, like one of the speakers were going to blow, until finally it just decided, yeah, you're going to have to just do the option. You're just going to have to either choose the TV speaker or the soundbar as your source of sound and everything. So yeah, for a time, like I said, I ended up using the soundbar as the main, audio for my TV. But then, like I said, when the power went out on Tuesday, everything just, when it went out on Tuesday and then came back on, everything just connected or reconnected, basically, like it should have been since the time I got it a couple of years ago. So I was like, oh, cool. And it looks like we got a helicopter out here. I don't know what they're searching for. It looks like they're searching for somebody. They're going in a circle there. They're looking for somebody. But anyway, like I said, it all basically, reconnected. It all basically kind of like reconnected, which was, like I said, a blessing in disguise to know, oh, cool. Now I could just, use my TV remote, to up the audio or down the audio on, on my speakers. That's, on my TV, on my soundbar, if you will, my soundbar speakers. And the only time I have to use the soundbar remote is for adjusting the treble, the treble, the bass, and the subwoofer, and that's it. Everything else, or even if I want to, use or even if I want to use, basically my sound bar is a Bluetooth speaker, for, let's say, listening to music off of this. But yeah, Tuesday was really strange and everything. Like I said, one of the strangest days of the week, if you will. And like I said, the blessing for me is now my soundbar and everything works fine along with my TV. And my mom later that day did get a phone call that her car was fixed. It was ready to be picked up, and she got picked up by the mechanic to go get it at the shop. So there you go. So yeah, Tuesday was a weird day, and then Wednesday I got woke up automatically by the EDD, because apparently now they have to do phone interviews for when you apply or reapply for unemployment. So, they called me. The guy decided to call me early, left a message, told me to call him back when I get a chance so we can get this done and over with. And he was very, very professional, very courteous and everything. And, I got that done. I just explained to him everything that happened, and I do apologize if I'm pausing a little bit. I'm trying to check what's going on out there with the helicopter. But anyway, he called me up early, woke me up on Wednesday, did the interview, gave me time to kind of get myself together. I called him back. We did the interview. We didn't take too long. He just wanted to make sure everything was right, because what he has to do next, or what they have to do next, is call my former job, Target, to see if everything I'm saying, checks out. And apparently, if they can't get in contact with Target, like if they couldn't get in contact with me, they just go based off what either I said, or if they couldn't get in contact with me or even Target, they just go based off of what I put on the application. So anyway, that's what happened on Wednesday. And then Thursday, not much happened. Saw the Warriors, like I say, tie the game, tie the series with the Lakers and stuff. But what happened this morning was a little sad and all that, because I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this. You live in an area, like we live here in Newman, it's kind of more rural area than anything. And, we have a lot of stray cats, not much stray dogs, just stray cats. And they're very feral at times and everything. And what happened basically is we had this one cat, had the same kind of coloring as my mom's cat, who passed away years ago. Same coloring, but it was a boy. And it always hung out at our house. It's like, I think in a way it knew, because I don't know what it is, but animals have a sense of, humans that had cats before, and, that these cats that they had trusted them, loved them, and all that. So they know that, hey, I can hang around with this place because these humans aren't going to bug me. Well, this one cat, like I said, would always hang around our house. And during this time of year, would always, sit in the corner or lay in the corner outside of the guest room over here. He would always lay in the corner, like right there in this area. He would lay right about there and all that. And what happened this morning is my mom wakes up, because she could see this. She could tell something was not right, just by the way he was acting over the past several months and all that. So she wakes up this morning and she tells me that we're going to have to call the Newman Police Department, the dispatch, animal control, if you will, because the cat that would normally be right here, like I said, just laying down calmly and then would walk off to go do whatever it's got to do, eat or something, had passed away. Yeah, the cat had passed away. And the way she knows it passed away is because it was laying down, not where it normally does, but laying down right behind that bush right there. So instead of, like, say, being in this corner here where it normally would be, and everything, it was laying right there. And she said, got to call the police, got to call the dispatch, the animal control to come pick it up. Well, they don't open until about 8 or something like that, right? They don't open until about 8:30 something. So initially I leave a message. And then my mom says, please call them again. Because she knows that if you just go by leaving a message, they're going to take their time. So I call them again about 3 minutes after they open. I talk to somebody. I describe what happened. And not even 10 minutes after I call or talk to them, they sent somebody out and they came and got the cat. They came and got the cat, put him in a bag, and then left. And that was it. And it's a little sad. It's a little sad, if you will. But the thing is, this is what happens when, you have so many cats and, you decide to move out or you move away. You forget either to take them or you just leave them be because it's like, well, I can't take them to my new place. They won't allow it and all that. So it's sad to see, but, obviously he was going through a lot. He was getting older too and everything. So yeah, it was sad and all that, but it happens. It happens. So this is why I believe that if you're going to have an animal, a dog or a cat or a bird, always make sure that if you have to move, find a place that allows you to take them in with you. Find a place that allows you to take them in with you. That way nothing will happen. You don't have to leave them behind or give them to somebody else. So yeah, that was kind of a little heartbreaking and everything to see that happen. Because again, what this cat would do is this cat would travel. Basically, this cat would like walk across this fence a lot, climb up the fence, walk across it, and everything. Walk across this fence here, climb up on that, and everything. And I think just wander around and stuff, and yeah, you could just tell I was trying to survive. And unfortunately, I think what it was, the changing of the weather thanks to La Nina, El Nino, didn't help it out. And yeah, it was kind of sad to see that and everything. But again, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, if it belonged to anybody and those people moved without taking it, it's going to be on them, especially if they check that, hey, this kitty's chipped and everything, and this is who it belongs to. You can only imagine how those people are going to feel once they get contacted, if they do, and they find out, oh, our cat, has passed and everything because we left him behind. But yeah, it was kind of sad, but again, God has a reason for a lot of things happening, and it's all part of this greater plan. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks, leading into this Friday, the Cinco De Mayo. It's been one of those weeks where, you just gotta take your lumps and your obstacles, that get put in front of you, and survive them and just move forward. And that's about it. But yeah, that's what's been going on this past week. Don't know what the next week's gonna entail. I mean, I know one thing, I can't monetize now, so for right now, because again, even though I've done some editing and stuff on the third, even on the third, I don't know what the reasoning is, what's holding me back and stuff. So hopefully, I can figure something out in the future, that. But yeah, I can't monetize on YouTube right now, but that might all change in time. We'll see. But I do want to let you guys know that if you want to support me, all the areas are in the description where you can help me out, support me. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you're listening to my B.W. Roses Discussions podcast, go and check that out. Mostly on Spotify, because that'll help me out. I have to get to about 100 followers on Spotify to enable the ambassador ads. So if you guys can help me out there, it'd be greatly appreciated. Also check out the Teespring store, Support me over at Venmo at Brian-Warmer-2, Cash App at BWRoses98, Patreon.com, BWRoses with a $1 tier, $3 tier, and $5 tier. The $5 one will get you the amenities of $1 and $3, but also get you a Q&A, which I wanted to do today, but can't do it right now because we're not at that goal just yet. But maybe over time it will happen. Hopefully maybe by next week, we'll see. But anyway though, guys, just wanted to come on here, do this little bit of a vlog. I know it's a little all over the place and stuff. I do apologize. But let me know what your thoughts are on what I had to say. Comment below, live chat during the premiere. And until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later.